Survivors are the heart of Relay. To share his story, please welcome 2011 California Hero of Hope, Clinton Judd.
Thank you. Thank you all so much. I am so very grateful to be here speaking with you today. My name is Clinton Judd. I've been involved in Relay for Life now for 13 years. And it's hard to believe, but when I was introduced to Relay, I was just 15. My mom, she was very active in our community, and when she heard about this new event in our town, she volunteered, and so of course I was subsequently volunteered. I'm sure none of you know what that's like. And so if you can imagine me at 15, I didn't know anyone who had cancer. I hadn't lost anyone close to me to cancer. All I really thought about at the time was getting through school and cars and girls. But I went to that first event and I saw something very special. There were people there, people like you. I mean, these crazy people, okay, with purple in their eyes. Yeah, I know you. And they were so excited and so enthusiastic about this cause. And I listened to their stories, and I read all the names on those bags, and I was inspired. And so the next year, a friend of mine, her name was Shannon, she and I started a youth team, and we raised a few $1,000s for the American Cancer Society. And I've been going ever since. Now, after high school, I went off to college, and I was studying for my master's degree in engineering at Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo. I knew you'd be out there. And life was really busy. I had a full load of classes. I was working on my thesis, and I was in between classes. I was trying to get a job, and I was interviewing. And one day, I was just sitting on the couch relaxing, and I was rubbing my neck, just kind of relaxing, and I felt something a little bit weird. It felt like a pea. It felt like somebody had just slipped a little pea under my skin. Now, I knew from time to time my neck would swell just from being sick, so I didn't think I had a whole lot to worry about, but I watched that little pea, and over the course of a few weeks, that little pea, it grew. It grew to the size of a grape. And I knew I needed to go see a doctor. When I went to the general practitioner, he ran some blood tests, and everything came back totally normal. But he said, I think just in case, you should go get it checked out. And so in between classes, I took some time off, and I went in to get a biopsy. And as I awoke from surgery, I was sitting in this little crunchy hospital bed, and I opened my eyes to this little white room, and beside me, holding my hand, was my mom. And on the other side, holding my other hand, was my girlfriend, Shannon. You might remember her from earlier in the story. And as they told me those words, my heart sank. You have cancer. I was so scared, so afraid. All those things in life that were so important, suddenly the only thing that was important was fighting this disease. I was immediately swept up in a whirlwind of diagnosis. They did a PET scan, and they found the cancer had spread throughout my upper body. And the biopsy concluded that I had Hodgkin's lymphoma. I started chemotherapy right away. The drugs made me sick. I felt horrible. And sometimes I would miss class. And I remember one day I had an interview out of town, and I had to fly out. And this is me on that morning. I was getting ready in front of the mirror, and I was washing my face and kind of combing my hair, and I put my hands through my hair, and I looked down, and they were covered in hair. It was just coming out in clumps. I felt horrible. I felt defeated. But I had great people in my life, caregivers. That night, I got home really late, around midnight, and I knocked on the floor at my friend Brian's house. That's him on the right. And he woke up, and he got out his own razor, and he helped me shave my head. I always wondered what I'd look like bald. I didn't look too bad, actually. It's pretty good. And so I had great support, and I continued with my treatment, and I graduated from college, bald as the day I was born. And today, I stand before you just a few weeks away from 5 years as a cancer survivor. I'm here because of you. I'm alive because of you. It was you that reached out to me when I was just 15. It's because of education and awareness from the American Cancer Society that I knew when I found that little pea, I needed to get it checked out. And it's because of research, like the research you're funding, that they had the PET scan to find out how far the cancer had spread. It's because of research, like the research you're funding, that they had the drugs to fight my disease and help me with my battle. And most of all, it was you, this purple army out here, that gave me hope, strength that I needed to fight my disease. And it's a strength I draw on even today. Now, there's one last piece of the story before I go, something more recent. And I need to share it with you because my fight, my battle with cancer isn't over. Last year, I had to go to the doctor for a scan. And anybody who's ever been through this before knows the anxiety leading up. It's all you can think about. And all you want to hear is that everything's healthy, that it's okay. The night before, I could hardly sleep. I found myself once again in a little white room. And beside me, holding my hand, was my wife, Shannon. You might remember her from earlier in the story. And as the doctor brought the image up on the screen, I could tell immediately that he had seen something that he knew. And he said, "Well, I can't be sure, but I think what you have here is a developing and healthy baby boy." The American Cancer Society, you are the official sponsors of birthdays. And last year, we celebrated the birth of my son, Logan. And he's just beautiful, precious. There he is. I told you that my fight with cancer isn't over, and it's not. It won't be for a long time because we have a lot more birthdays to fight for. We have a lot more birthdays to celebrate. And so this week, as you're in training, pay attention, study hard, take notes. Bring those ideas home and put them to work. Light that purple spark in your community. Thank you. Thank you. Now, before I go, there's some very special people in the room I want to recognize right now. Survivors, will you please stand up and be recognized? Yeah. go. All right. And now I'd like to take a second to recognize some other very, very important people in our lives. Caregivers, will you please stand and be recognized? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you.